Welcome to Gens Before Friends. I'm Mockingbird here with my lovely co host, Queen AMG
Hello.
and Morbid Plum.
Hello.
And today we are going to be talking about DVD's new game mode 2v8, which has been a very big hit.
It's a lot of fun.
Woohoo.
It is a lot of fun. So we're
It's a
going
lot
to
of
be,
fun.
we're going to be running through what's in 2v8, how it works, and our thoughts on it. But yeah, it is a lot of fun. And the queue times have been crazy, which we'll talk about. But yes, I know in the past we've talked about like how the player count has been down since MMR.
Mhm.
It has definitely gone up now with 2v8.
Oh yeah.
Like
Mhm.
the first day, what was it? Was it like 100,000 on Steam or something? It was crazy.
Yeah, like
It
105,000
was
people,
yeah, it was
Yeah,
a
something like
huge
that.
and that's
number.
just Steam. That's just PC on Steam. So who knows how many more with console. So 2v8 has been a big success for DVD. A lot of people love it with good reasons. And so we're going to run through their 2v8 event. This is a temporary event. It will be going away, but they have talked about in their, I believe it was the anniversary live stream, about making it permanent, but they want to work out the kinks first and figure out what works, what doesn't. And so this will be, it's from July 25th to August 8th. And there is a rift for it that you can do different challenges in there. It's pretty easy. And I believe there's two levels to that, and the next one's coming out. Actually, at the time of recording now, it'll be tomorrow. The second
Mhm.
level comes out. So we'll have to play it some more and get all the things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is what they say about 2v8. So, 2v8 is a game mode with a higher emphasis on action. So, they made gameplay adjustments to accommodate. So, they say this means a few changes to the maps and several key systems, including the way survivors are hooked and sacrificed. Given the frantic nature of 2v8, we found that downing and placing survivors on hooks was slowing down the pace a little too much. To allow killers to dive back into the action quicker, down survivors can immediately be sent to a cage, teleporting to a random location across the map. So the list of realms for 2v8 is Macmillan Estate, Auto Haven Wreckers, Coldwind Farm, Red Forest, and Crotus Pen Asylum. And basically, these maps have been made larger,
Yeah, very
significantly
large.
large,
Yeah.
and let's see, their survivors have to repair a total of 8 out of 13 generators that spawn, and generators take 70 seconds to complete. So gens are shorter,
Mhm.
but you have to do eights. And as just mentioned, there's no hooks for killers, and the down survivors are sent to cages. They're kind of like the Pyramid Head cages a bit. And survivors are sacrificed after 3 cage states. So just like hooks, you're dead after 3. But a little bit of changes to that. Survivors can self heal after their second cage state. And survivors that haven't been caged have auras revealed when a generator completes. So those are some of the changes for 2v8, along with, let's talk about the killers you can play in 2v8.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have basically our first 5 original killers. We have the Trapper, the Wraith, the Hillbilly, the Nurse, and the Huntress. And they do mention that they plan on introducing more killers in the future, but they are just going with these original killers to start out with. And with 2v8, there are no perks. So each killer gets unique abilities. Some are passive and some benefit your teammate. So let's go through them. For Trapper, Trapper has a faster trap setting time. And when he sets a trap, it gives his teammate a speed boost. And he gets to hold more traps. There's more traps on the field, and he holds 4 traps. The Wraith. So the Wraith can make their nearby teammate undetectable. He moves faster while cloaked, and
They put make nearby teammates undetectable
I know
twice.
they put it twice. Sorry, I paused. I was like, wait, there's
What
something
can
else.
what's his other one? Here, I will load
If
into the game and I will let you know.
Okay,
maybe
so
you
we'll
can do it twice.
you can do it twice. Is it? No, it's not speed. I don't think. I don't know. We'll come back to Wraith. Oopsie.
Oh,
You need to
someone
edit.
didn't edit.
Didn't edit, and I didn't read this beforehand either. So,
Oops.
I mean, I've just been playing the game,
Right?
so
Yeah.
I know all this. So for the hillbilly is kind of interesting. So he has reduced collision cooldowns, but the interesting thing is he can expose survivors while chainsaw sprinting. I believe he has to be like nearby a survivor, and I've seen a lot of killer teams use that to like if they can chainsaw sprint around the map and expose people, so then the other killer will just M1
Hmm.
people down. So it is kind of interesting because otherwise, Hillbilly does his chainsaw does not insta down. It just injures in
Yeah.
2v8. And it says he has more chainsaw control. I've only played Hillbilly once. I don't know if there's more chainsaw control. I'm not like a Billy main by any means, but if you're good with the chainsaw, you can definitely work with your teammate and do insta downs. The nurse. The nurse has an extended lunge. She also gets an additional blink while near a teammate. She has a bigger chain blink window and reduced fatigue. And then the huntress. So her hatchet reveals the survivor aura, which is an add-on she has in game The Glowing Concoction. So they made that base kit for 2v8. She has faster movement without hatchets. She gets to carry more hatchets, and she has faster reloading. So basically, with these killer changes, I feel like some of them is just kind of buff the killers to be faster or do things faster, like reloading hatchets, getting additional blink when you're near a teammate. So I don't know what y'all
Uh,
think. Do we know
I
about
have
Wraith
the
yet?
yes. So Wraith's other perk is upon entering a chase, the targeted survivors are revealed for 5 seconds or until the other killer is within 60 meters of the survivor.
Isn't that all the killers do that?
I don't know.
Go to a different
I
one.
thought there
Are
was
you still in there?
something
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still in there.
because well, I guess that's part of the perks, but you're able to see the
Oh,
survivor.
that is all of them. Hold
Mm-hmm.
on.
Yes, I don't know what else Wraith has.
Okay, hold on. Let me just read Wraith
Oh,
off. Wraith.
move faster. Well, oh, okay.
Wait,
Sorry.
that one is it?
Oh yeah,
It's
he has
already
a faster cloak and uncloak, I think,
yeah,
too.
increases cloaking and cloaking speed by 22%, increases movement speed while cloaked. So they did the cloaking speed.
Yeah.
And then the undetectable. If you're within 60 meters of your teammate's undetectable. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so
But
they just forgot the faster
yeah,
cloaking
but
uncloaking.
Yeah.
every killer has the when you're entering a chase, the targeted survivors are revealed for 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And then the
And
That's what
generator
I
then
too.
thought.
after kicking a generator, all survivors within 20 meters are revealed for 5 seconds, and it increases the regression speed of generators by 200%. That's universal for all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, any thoughts on killers in 2v8 and how they play? Play differently than normal? Y'all have been playing
Well,
some killer.
we
Me
have been.
too.
I'm so
So
proud.
Evermain's been playing killer. I've been rocking it as trapper.
It's like a trapper
Uh,
main over here.
yeah, it's practice to become a Lady Voldemort main. Um, so I'm working my way up. I've had a blast. It's been a lot of fun playing as a duo killer team. I think I've tried Trapper, I've tried Wraith, I haven't tried Huntress or Hillbilly or Nurse. Probably not going to touch those ones because honestly, I'm kind of tired of just coming across Huntress every single game. And I'm like, other people probably are tired, so I'm probably not going to play her.
No
But I've
nurse, no
enjoyed, yeah,
no
no, yeah,
blinking,
no, thank you. No blinking.
no
I've
learning the
enjoyed
hardest
getting,
killer.
I've enjoyed getting killer achievements and doing killer stuff on the Rift. And it's just been a fun time. Like, for the most part, all the matches have been pretty positive, whether you're a killer or a survivor. But, I've enjoyed getting my little toesies wet. It's been fun.
What about you, Morbid? How do you like playing
Agreed.
killer?
It's been so much fun. I'm like, man, if only it were like this in real life.
This is real life.
um,
What are you talking about?
no, I feel like
All the
in the
time?
game, obviously you have
Only
other
this is like this
perks.
in the simulation we live in.
So yes, no, it's been a lot of fun. I was hesitant because I was like, I'm not gonna play killer, but then we hopped on and played some duo matches, and it was so much fun. And I've been getting so many achievements, which is just great because I never would have gotten them another way.
Mm,
But yeah, it's been cool and like I feel like this has allowed me to kind of learn a little bit about killer in an easier way than I would in a regular match because it's obviously a little watered down. So you don't have all the other perks affecting you. And yeah, I feel like this is kind of, if they do decide to bring this back permanently, which hopefully they will, I think this is a good way to learn killer for sure.
It's also just fun to
And it's
be,
fun. Yeah.
yeah, to not have the pressure of trying to get, survivors by yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely I get it now. I get why like you want the 4K. Like having
Yeah.
an 8K is amazing.
Oh yeah. Like
Um
when people escaped, I was like, no, come back. I want to kill you.
yeah, those 8Ks even just like, and for the most part I feel like for the most part it's been somewhat even, like even if people got out or as a survivor I died, I feel like I still had fun. Like just because the chaotic nature of everything, but
Mhm.
yeah, I've enjoyed it. I think they did a good job kind of balancing the killers to make it kind of fair, especially since you don't have the perks. And I like the teamwork perks. Those come in handy if you decide to stay together as your killer duo. But overall, it's been a fun positive time.
Yeah. And I think I only tried, was it Wraith and Trapper as well? Just because I know that I'm not very good at Huntress or Nurse, so I was like, I'm just not gonna try.
Yeah,
But
Huntress takes some practice.
yeah, but I
So,
did. Well,
oh,
we'll get over that. We'll get to that. But there, I did notice like some were picked more than others, obviously.
Hmm. Huntress Wraith,
Yeah, they
Huntress
were
Wraith.
a lot of repetition, but I mean, it's the same thing. It's like what you're, I think, comfortable playing with, and there might not be a lot of Nurse
It,
and other mains. Well, Huntress, yes, but Nurse mains aren't that popular. At least I haven't noticed them lately.
and for the most part, it's been a Huntress with somebody else. Um,
I feel like you want to play like, well, okay, so when we've been playing, I've been playing Wraith because Wraith has speed. Trapper is a normal speed killer.
Yeah,
Huntress is slower, and of course Hillbilly has mobility, but I'm not very good at Hillbilly. So I feel like teaming up wise, you want a killer with mobility with a
yeah.
slower. You don't want to like we did. I think Queen and I did a match where I was Huntress and she was Trapper, and I think it went okay-ish, but there's no like map pressure, like speed wise, to get
yeah,
across. And I feel like at the beginning of the game, that's what you need because basically, I feel there is kind of a formula to like where you spawn in and where the survivors spawn in, and they typically spawn across the map from you. So you can pretty much figure out what few gens that are directly across from you they're at. And so you want to try to push them off early on in the game. At least that's how my opinion. And
yeah.
or they're going to pop really, really fast. And so I feel like having a killer like Nurse Hillbilly Rafe paired with Trapper or Huntress makes the most sense. But I think it's been a lot of fun because it's nonstop. Like it is
Hmm.
very
Yeah.
fast paced. There have been a couple rounds where it got slow with just like a few people left and then they were all hiding, but otherwise it's typically like it's constant chase. I like it as a killer because, well, I think a lot of people like it because you're not dealing with all the individual perks of the normal game.
Hmm.
You don't have to
Yeah.
worry about DS, distortion. Like, you know what the classes are. It's basically, I think, because there's so many just easy to follow rules, right?
Mhm.
Killers can do this. Survivor, and we'll get to the survivor stuff, but survivors had their classes, and those classes allow them to do these things. And then, you can see survivors when you kick a gen. I think because of how it's structured, it's just very easy to follow. It's easy to understand, and it's fun because it's constant chasing a survivor. And then if you want to play with your killer teammate, you can, and y'all can, both go after a survivor or y'all can split up, and there's just so many different possibilities with plays and stuff. And then but maps have a ton more palettes.
Oh my
Like
God, it's right
like a
next to each other
ton.
sometimes
Yes,
too.
a ton of palettes. But I guess
It
it
is
makes sense
fun.
because you have more survivors. The maps
Mhm.
are
Yeah.
bigger.
So, like, when you
So,
bump into survivors, there's usually, like well, most of the time, there's, like, a huge group of them, and so you're
mhm.
like, "Oh, look," and it's just funny. It's hilarious watching everybody scatter.
I know. It's like, who do I go for? I start sometimes just injuring different people, like not even downing
Yeah.
people. I'm just like, okay, we're just gonna injure everyone because y'all are all
Just start
here.
yeah, just start
Don't
swinging,
y'all
and you'll hit
go
someone.
because then they'll go heal instead of do a gen. Ideally, we'll see. But
Yeah.
Or you direct them to where the other killer is.
hmm
That's kind of what we were doing, like
yeah.
unlocking. She would run to the other side of the map as the wraith, as I was trapping up the one side of the map I started on, and so I was pushing them all over, and they just all ended up in my trap.
Which traps are so much fun.
Yeah, it's very
hmm
satisfying.
Oh yeah.
Look at us being, like, discovering killer.
I know. I'm so proud because I'm the only one that played killer
It's, like,
before.
existed forever, and we're over here
So
like,
I
"Oh
don't
my
know if
god,
I'm going to be
it's so
playing in a
amazing."
regular match anytime
Oh,
soon,
no, no.
but with another
No,
person, it's a lot of fun.
it takes the stress off, and I think
Yeah.
that goes back to like the whole defined like rules setup of this mode where it doesn't feel as hard because you don't have to worry about all the perks. You don't have to worry about
Hmm.
choosing perks as a killer.
Yeah,
And
that's
then you
nice.
don't have to worry about what the survivors are bringing. You know what their class is, and that's what it is. So, and you can also see what class they are when you load in, so you know how many medics there are
Hmm.
or escapists. People really like the escapists. We're gonna get to the classes in a minute, but you can see how many of each class you have. But I really don't remember all of that going in. Like I'm not gonna remember like if Dwight's a guide or a medic or whatever, but
But yeah, for
it's good
sure.
information to know if they're trying to like gen rush you or not gen rush you, right? So that is killer. Should we move on to
Yeah, the
Survivor?
classes for Survivor. Yeah.
Yeah, Survivor classes. So you can play any Survivor in 2v8, but you choose a unique class, and so these classes are designed to excel in particular area of the DBD gameplay. So first one we have a guide. And the guide is basically the gen jockey. You reveal your aura and the generator's aura to your team when repairing. And you also see generator auras, and you get a great skill check progress boost. They don't have the percentage here. Queen, do you remember what the percentage was for the boost?
No, and it also goes to other people within a certain
Is it on the
round.
gen?
Hold on.
Yeah, maybe
Let me
it's
bring up. Oh,
this
is
is.
it in the? There's a. Hold on. Let me see. It is. Let's see.
Yeah, on
They didn't
the
put it in this everything you need to know article. It's not
I
yeah,
know
quite
there's a
everything.
couple things. Every as we mentioned before, I'm not sure if they've ever looked up everything, the definition.
This
because
is
like,
one.
the
There's
This is one
some
of their
things that
better
are missing.
articles, but
the
It's one of their
infographic
better articles. Yes,
the infographic is gorgeous, but it does not
it
tell
is. It
you,
doesn't. It doesn't
I'm
have
not
it
looking
either
at the
though.
like,
infographic.
Yeah, it's
I'm
parental
reading it.
information.
I'm bringing
I want to say it's
the
like
game back up
3%,
again.
maybe,
Yeah.
but you get a little like progress boost.
Yeah, so if you're all doing great skill checks on a gen, it can go pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I will check for you now.
Okay.
And do you get a boost if, like, everybody's like, you have more than, like, a couple people?
Yeah, it's
No,
everyone within a certain
on the skill check,
range.
yes. There's no
Yeah,
like prove thyself. It's not
yeah.
like a
That's
prove
okay.
thyself. It's just
It's watered
it's
down.
it's skill check. Well, because the gens are
Yeah.
also only 70 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to make them
Okay.
fly too fast.
True.
Okay, we're talking about guide. So survivors with an 8 meters gain an additional 3% bonus progress for great skill checks for repairing generators, and the noise is caused by repairs are reduced by 50%. Which is good because a lot of times gens are kind of close, but you'll see it to where like if a guide's on a gen, it's less likely for the killer to go there because there's 3 other gens they can choose from, what they're actually hearing that are louder.
Yeah.
Um, so um, as long as you are on the gen, you're getting that honor within 8 meters of a gen and working on a gen, you're getting it. I like how they had to specify that it doesn't apply when the survivor is hiding in a locker.
Oh my.
Thank you for
No,
letting us
no
know that.
3% bonus for you.
Well, what skill check are you doing in the locker?
I don't know.
New ones, apparently.
Hmm. Okay, our next class is the medic. So the medic grants nearby survivors a heal speed boost. They can see the auras of injured survivors, so basically the perk empathy. And they have faster healing speed. So pretty self-explanatory. They are there to heal.
Hmm.
Then we have the escapist. This is a very popular class.
Yeah.
So there's a shared sprint burst. So you
Hmm.
have sprint burst, but you can also share it with your teammates that are nearby. You reveal the auras of windows, breakable walls, and pallets. So basically, you have windows of opportunity. And you run faster while you're injured. I think it's made for this speed. So, like a 3%
Yeah,
haste.
it's 3%.
So, basically, they put in a lot of popular chase perks into the escapist. So
Yeah,
sprint
and
burst,
it's
windows,
yeah,
and made for this.
and it's crazy too. If you're not an escapist and you're one of the other classes, if you're around an escapist and they start sprinting,
You sprint
any
too.
survivors with 112 meters, it's 150% for
Mm-hmm.
3
Yeah,
seconds.
it
It's
is
wild.
fast. Like, I
It's
was zooming
Yeah.
all over the place. I was like, oh my goodness.
vroom vroom.
Yeah, it is also considered a team skill, which means there's a cooldown of 20 seconds too
Yeah. And
before it can
then,
activate again.
and then our last class is the scout. So
Hmm.
the scout reveals killer aura when they break a pallet, a wall, or damage a generator. They reveal the killer's aura to the team when the killer is in your line of sight. And they make no sound when injured.
When they're crouching.
Yeah, it doesn't say that, does it? Yeah, you have to be crouching. Wait, this is the
Yeah.
one where you have urban. You have urban
Yeah.
evasion.
So you get
That's
the
not
urban
listed here
evasion when you're
either.
crouching, and then grunts of pain by injuries are reduced while crouching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You essentially have alert. So anytime they do a breakable action, you see them, and
Mm-hmm.
anytime they're within 64 meters, so line of sight, you reveal them. So
Yeah.
a lot of times, Maki and I would just get in like a corner where you could see everything while we're doing it, Jen, and the killer's auras were just up the whole time
Yep.
for the teammates.
So those are our survivor classes. So let's talk about.
Yay.
Yay! So what do y'all think of the survivor classes?
I like them. I think it
Yeah.
kind of breaks down like essentially like if you were trying to like do your normal build, what you normally have, some type of Healy perk, right? At least we normally do. We have some type of aura perk. We have something that might help with gens or do something in gens. And then you have your exhaustion perk. So I feel like all they did was took like the popular build and be like, okay, you just get one of them. Which
Yeah.
one do you want? Um, and Escapist is very popular because people like to go speedy. Personally, myself, I enjoy guide or scout. Scout more often. I like to see the auras. But I think they did a good job of breaking down essentially all of four of these together is a build, and they're just like, let's break it down. And you choose the one, and then your teammates have the other, and then you're supposed to, co-op work together. So it's cool that they whatever you choose, you're still impacted by the others. You still get positive buffs,
Mm-hmm. Morbid, do you have
which
any
I like.
thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, well, like, mostly the same. I just like you, Queen said, they cherry picked, little things here and there that are pretty much part of a lot of people's builds and broke them up so that at least you weren't completely helpless against the killer. um, so yeah, I think they were all really fun to play. I tried Escapist and it was good, but them running kind of, I don't know, it threw me off because all of a sudden I would just be sprinting across the map. I'm like, what is happening? Why am I running so fast? So that one was kind of weird. I did like the guide and the scout, I think, the most out of the four. Medic was fun, but I mostly just played it to do the rift challenges, and that was about it.
Yeah, I think these classes are just basically you're basically like a specialist in a certain area of the game,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I've played with all of them. Basically, I kind of just switch around to try to even things out, basically, whichever
Yeah.
lobby we load in, because I feel like you do need one or two medics
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
make the healing go faster. But I mean, we've had a lobby, or I think as killer, we had a lobby full of like escapists and guides and
Hmm.
got gen
And like,
rushed on that.
yeah, and like
But
no medics or anything. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
we're gonna just get screwed.
but I mean, I love sprint burst, so like I am so used to running sprint burst, and even playing around before we recorded, and I didn't realize I was around an escapist, and then I had sprint burst. I was like,
Yeah.
be free.
Mm-hmm. That's how I got
So
away.
I think I like that also you can share some of these, you can share the perks. Like you have increased speed healing around medics, the sprint burst. And I mean even being a guide is useful because like I've had people, injured survivors come to me when I'm on the gen to get healed
Mm-hmm.
because they can see
Hmm.
me.
That's
So guide
true.
is actually useful too for letting your teammates, know where to go for a heal and to finish, of course, the gen. I like these classes, and again, I like that they're pretty straightforward, right? They're not overly complicated, and that it does encourage you as a survivor to kind of work as a team, right? You have these
Yeah.
perks,
Yeah.
you can share them with other teammates. I like that aspect. Like the killer side has ways you can work with your killer teammates, so does the survivors. It really encourages working as a team, which sometimes in the regular matches it does not feel like that. It feels like every man for themselves. I really like the classes,
Yeah.
and I know I've heard some people say they wish that this was how it was set up in the normal gameplay.
The normal game. Well,
Mm-hmm.
you really do have to work as a team because we had several rounds like in the beginning where it was just like four people because you can have a max of four of each of the different skills. We were having matches where just four people were escapists, and those escapists they were just for themselves, and we were just getting slaughtered. Whereas as it progressed, if there were a lot of escapists, essentially what people started doing is they're grouping up in like groups of two or three, and every little group had the escapists. So like when killers came, everyone got the sprint burst and got to
Mm-hmm.
run. But we did notice that if a certain group was just that person was only for themselves, like if
Mm-hmm.
they were a scout but they weren't actively putting themselves in a position to where they can scan the area, that we just weren't getting aura reading at all. Like you have to use your perks.
Mm-hmm.
Not, it's very easy because it's two killers to all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, everyone's on, second hook and we have six gens. Like,
Yeah.
because it's so fast paced. So please play your skill the way it should be for your team.
Listen
Do
to
not
me.
hide in lockers. Do not be on the outside of the map. No
No.
need for that.
I do like that there's no learning curve needed for them. I mean, I would assume, like maybe with killer if you haven't played, but like you can just hop in a match and pretty much know what you're doing.
Pretty much,
It's
yeah.
not as complicated, right? Because you're not like trying to figure out perks, right?
Yeah.
Because right
Yeah.
up front they said this is what all the killers can do, this is the survivors do. You're not running around going like, oh, okay, well they have lethal pursuer. As a killer,
Exactly.
you're not
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, this killer has sprint, survivor has sprint burst. Like you're not trying to guess what perks are in play,
Mm-hmm.
so
Exactly.
which like for a killer by themselves when you're going up against four people, every single one of them has four perks. So, I mean, you're trying to figure out which individual perks these all these survivors have. Whereas now we know like, okay, it's a wraith. Oh, they're working together, which means that they're going to be undetectable. So, hey, make sure our scouts are somewhere in the middle so they can make sure and, catch their auras. But overall, yeah, I feel like they did a good job. And then, of course, as survivors, after your second cage, you do have the ability to self care, so you can heal yourself. And something that is not mentioned in the everything you need to know after your second hook, if they
Go
do
figure.
slug you for whatever strange reason they decide to do that, you can pick yourself up.
Yeah. Which I didn't know when we were playing, and
Yeah,
I
we
was like,
didn't
oh my
know.
god.
Yeah, until Morbid did it, and then we accused her of cheating.
Yes. I was like, look, I brought an extra perk.
We were very confused because I
I
was like, "Where
know.
is that?"
I know, because you had like Unbreakable and Soul Guard,
Yeah, because as soon
Hmm.
as he hit me after I got up, I got
the endurance effect.
the
The
endurance
endurance
back,
effect, yeah,
and I was like, wait, what's happening? I'm confused.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't
But it was
mention that
nice.
anywhere.
Yeah, but
yeah,
that was not at all mentioned, and so it would have been nice to know. Just saying.
yeah. So second cage, you are slugged, pick yourself up. Not first cage, unfortunately, or zero cage. You
Yeah.
get slugged, then that's you just got to crawl away or just
Mhm.
sit there and wait.
Yes, that's just your life now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
you live on the ground.
Well, let's talk about slugging, because I've seen some posts about slugging, about some killers playing sweaty and slugging. We have not really experienced that.
Maybe a
Yeah.
couple, two,
Yeah, but
three.
it's typically like towards the end game, like
Mm,
where there's only a couple of us left, or like 3 or 4 left. So there's been a suggestion to make like Unbreakable base kit, which I guess it
Yeah.
is at the second, but I guess just overall, so you can't slug everyone at the
yeah.
beginning. I don't know who's doing this, but this is just what I've seen on Twitter and stuff of people saying they've seen slugging in the game. So thoughts, like, don't play sweaty in 2v8, y'all. Let's have
I mean,
nice
there's no
things.
need. Like, the whole point of
It's so
this game is,
quick.
yeah, to be fast paced. Like, once you knock somebody down, all you do is stamp on them, they go to a cage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen people slug when like another person is nearby and they start on a chase. But as a killer, you don't know how fast that chase is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
if you leave that person, by the time they get over, we've picked people up, or they can crawl away and they can get picked up. Like, there's no reason to slug. I mean, the couple times it's happened, like at the beginning, obviously it's not an enjoyable match. And I'm just like, really? Like, there's no counter to it. And all you can do is hope someone comes pick you up. But if you get like 2 to 3 people down, then man, that's hard because most of the time the killers are just staying in that area. I was slugged once and I hadn't been hooked yet, and they left me to chase somebody else. And then I ended up crawling. They couldn't find me, and I bled out. And as far as I'm concerned, I won because they couldn't find me. But yeah, it wasn't fun to sit there for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that is kind of like the best part is that like sometimes like they lose you and then you're like, hey, this works for me.
Hey, you're
Yeah, I
making
mean,
me wait on the ground. I'm gonna make you
mhm.
wait. Wait
Exactly.
while you run around, have fun.
Not only that, there's 3 hatches. So if you can't find me, I can still crawl around and see if I can find one of the 3 hatches.
Oh yeah, we
So
didn't
yeah,
talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
if you're gonna try a killer, remember you could lose your survivor because there's
Just
like
put him in a cage. There's
the
no
map is
point in,
huge.
yeah.
There's no reason
Maps
to
are so
play like
big.
sweaty. Like, I know we talked about
But
how
also,
good it
yeah, don't be
feels to get an
sweaty.
8K, but we don't need to like sweat over
I
over it.
know. It's supposed to be fun, you guys
But
who
I
are
do
doing
agree
that. Not
that,
everybody.
yeah, I do agree though that I think going forward as a way to deter it, if because we haven't experienced it all that much, but if people are talking about it, it's happening.
Yeah.
But having base kit unbreakable at any stage would help because if you go slug a whole 8 team, they don't have any way of, you
Mm.
know, trying to win. So might as well make it and see what happens to kind of deter that type of behavior. The other things kind of saw I didn't like is like as a killer when you stamp the person, they go on the opposite side of the map as you. Kind of like Mocking said, like when you
Oh
start the
yeah.
game, they're on the opposite. We have had killers, and which was really annoying. I think more annoying than slugging, killers going to where they think you're gonna spawn in your cage. If they're around you in their cage, your cage moves. So like
Yeah,
no
Mm-hmm.
one
you
has to like
respawn.
risk their life to unhook you, get you out of the cage. It moves. But I have had a couple of matches where the killer just kept confining me, moving my cage,
Mm-hmm.
and then no one was able to unhook me and I died on like first cage.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
really annoying. I
I
had
had
that
that.
That's
happen.
annoying.
I had that happen. I can't remember who I was playing with. Was it you, Queen, or more? I was playing with one of you. We had a hillbilly that would just come like right to me. Like, they knew the formula
Hmm.
of
We might have
where
all
you
been
would
in that
go.
game because
And
mine
then
it
Maybe
was a
so.
hillbilly too.
Okay, maybe that was the same game. But yeah,
And
it
then I
was
was
just
not aware that that happened, and I was like, "What is happening? Where am I going?"
Yeah.
Because I went in blind. I didn't look anything up. I was like, "I wanna enjoy this
Yeah.
chaos."
So as a survivor, like, don't worry about if the killer is nearby. If they're close, that other survivor will move. However, as a killer, it's kind of, I'm just going to say it, it's kind of a dick move to go constantly move one survivor around the map so they can't get
Mhm.
unhooked and then they end up dying.
Yeah, 'cause
So let's
I
not
was
do that, you guys.
worried I was worried that I was camping, not camping the hook, but, like, getting too close, and then I remembered that it would respawn, but,
mhm.
yeah, I tried not to, like, stay too close because I didn't want that to happen because 'cause I'm a nice person.
Well, I mean, same. Like, as playing killer, like I think we would randomly like come across the hooked person, but not.
Yeah.
We weren't like trying to actively seek it. Now,
Mm,
if I did see them, I would keep a mind of like,
Hey,
okay,
I actively did stick it once, but it was a Steve and he kept teabagging me. So
He
Steve had to
deserved
his
it.
last
die,
hook, he was being mean.
Yeah, it
so he
was
died.
Steve
So
deserved
I
that.
moved him as someone was getting to come on a hook him, and he did die, but he deserved it.
That's funny.
So be nice in the match as
I felt
Survivor,
better on the
and Queen
inside.
will not
I will.
move
I
your
was letting people
cage.
like, yeah, but I'm
Queen was
sorry
nice
if
to
there's.
everyone else,
Yeah,
but
I was
not
perfectly
Steve.
nice. Not that Steve. No. And he knew he was wasting my time. And I was trying to be good about getting in a chase because again, I'm newbie when it comes to killer. But I also know from watching like Odds and Spooky, like if you just get single focused on that one survivor who's just outplaying you, you can just lose
Mhm.
everything. So I was
Yeah.
doing my darndest to break chase from him, but he was coming up and trying to get me to chase him. And I'm like, no, no, Steve, like, let me go after the lawyer. Like, you'll have your time in the spotlight, okay?
Don't
His
worry.
time when he was in his cage and I moved him around, he got my full attention then. So I'm just saying, he deserved it. But don't do it to other people. It's me.
Yeah. Just do it to that one Steve who's being rude.
The one Steve. It's just very rude. Yeah, so as we more gameplay mechanics. I can't speak today. Once you get down to two people alive, three hatches spawn on the map. So you can go for those. However, it is only one person per hatch, as we learned as hatches were closing in our face.
Oh,
I
I
kept
closed it
trying
in someone else's face. Remember, Queen?
Yeah, yeah. And then I had one closed in mine. I was playing with another friend and he closed it in my face and he was like, "Good luck, Queen." I died. I did close it in someone else's face, but there are three hatches. Something I did notice is there's always one kind of off by themselves and always two that are kind of close together. I've never seen them like fully spread out. If all the hatches are closed, like if the killer closed the hatches and there are three doors, which is very nice because there's a higher probability of you getting out because you have
Hmm.
three
through.
doors. I enjoyed the three doors. I almost wish we had three doors all the time.
Yeah, it was nice having the extra
The
escape
extra door.
hatch, rat in a hatch, escape route.
Yeah.
Hmm. I mean, it makes sense because in a normal match, there's two doors. The killer has to monitor two doors.
Mhm.
So at
2
least it,
killers
yeah,
to
two
be able to
killers. They just
monitor.
added one additional door to
Yeah.
monitor because it's very situational on which killer you have and stuff. If you can actually patrol the doors or not, or try if you're a trapper, you can trap the doors. Yeah, I do like the changes that they made for Hatch and the doors.
You get
So,
extra chests.
oh
There's like
yeah,
20 of them.
there is extra
Oh,
chests
there's a lot.
because, well, that's because survivors cannot bring in items.
Yeah.
So, as a survivor, you take in nothing, and I don't think you technically get to leave with anything either in 2v8. So,
I don't know if you keep your item because I got a
I
key
don't,
and then I escaped, and I don't know
I
if I had
don't,
the
I don't
key
think
here.
you keep it, but
No, I don't think you keep it. I've only been playing 2v8 mode, but your character doesn't actually start physically holding anything, so I don't know
mm-hmm,
if it actually goes into like your
Yeah.
inventory. And they're good items. So they're not like you're not gonna get like D key, green key. You're getting, purples,
Yeah, and
good items.
it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty much just like the key, the
there's
um
toolboxes and med
toolbox,
kits.
Toolboxes,
and
flashlights, med kit,
flashlight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
but they're the
flashlights.
higher
standard.
tier ones. So I mean, definitely beneficial. with the 70-second gen time, if you have 2 people on a gen or 3 people on a gen and you find the toolboxes. Well, what I've noticed in a lot of matches is people be rummaging through chests, and if they find like toolboxes, they'll go up to like 3 people on a generator, and they'll drop the toolbox and just like run off.
Oh yeah, I had that happen
Like
yesterday. I was
people
like,
have
thank
people have been
you.
giving people items, like if they notice someone doesn't have anything, dropping it. So I was doing that one match while Mocking was messing around with a huntress who was in a building. I was going and opening up chests, and I was dropping toolboxes off at people doing gens to get them done. I was like, she's occupied.
Times.
That's fun. I like the people working together part.
Yeah.
I feel like all the matches have been pretty good. I think I only had one round as a killer where one person at the end, like when I was playing killer, they're like, you got spanked. And I just said, hey, that's my kink. And then he didn't say anything. And then someone called me daddy.
Oh,
So
fun.
And that's how you talk in the game chat.
it
That's
had
how you
no
meet
comeback.
people and make
Yeah,
friends.
that's
I was like,
right.
what? I still had fun playing it. That person was a douche the whole time. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I think everyone got out, but that's one of the few matches I've played where everyone got out. But it happens.
Yeah, it does happen. It does depend on the dynamic with
Yeah.
the killers, which killers you're playing. If you're playing solo killer with another killer too, that makes a big difference too because there's no communication, obviously.
Oh, we had that
So,
awful match where the Huntress just gave up.
yeah, I'm
Um,
sorry, Huntress, because you were chasing me last,
yeah,
I think. And I
and
think I
the
was the last
Trapper
straw.
was the only one trying to do anything. I felt so bad. It, wa- I can't imagine that they were playing together. It had to been two separate people.
Yeah, I pallet stunned her, and I think she was done after that because I thought she was like
Yeah,
gonna
she went and
DC,
yeah.
but she just went off and stood in a.
She might as well have DC'd.
How
At
dare
least you
you?
get a bot. So
Yeah, there's a bot. There's
you
killer
do get killer
bots.
bots.
We
We
found that
unfortunately
out.
had that happen when I lost connection and my killer bot had to help Mocking. I felt so bad.
It was okay. Your bot did okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of them got out, but that's okay.
I was
I
like, was your
mean,
bot any good?
Not as good as me.
no, not as
I
good
mean,
as Queen,
no,
but
never.
I mean, it's better than the alternative of not having anyone else.
Yeah.
True.
Because I will say, okay, to compare, because this was like a month or so ago, I went back into Texas Chainsaw Massacre game.
Oh, you're brave.
Oh.
Well, I did family. Family, apparently, I have not kept up with all the drama of TCM, but in TCM, I will tell you if a family member, as in the killer, like DC's out, there's no bot. So their character just stands there and does nothing. So in
Hmm.
comparison, at least having a
Oh.
bot,
Yeah.
the bot is at least going around trying to hit people, set traps, they are doing killer things.
At least they're helpful.
Yes, whereas TCM there, you're just by yourself. And I mean, there's no DC penalty, I believe, still in TCM. So you could just, I think that I ended up just DCing out because it's like, I don't want to play this game by
Yeah, of course.
myself. It's not fun to play the killer role by yourself. And it's hard. And especially like the victims, if they're experienced
Hmm.
victims, they will
Oh my
totally,
Oh
god.
yeah, they'll destroy you.
they
It
will
just could
destroy
run you.
you.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason like a lot of people pulled away from it with some other stuff they were doing, but from our experiences when we were playing family, if you're not working together as family, and for the most part it was just us communicating, none of the other family members, like no one talks in that game,
Mm-mm.
and
Mm-mm.
you have to communicate. So if no one's talking to you, we were having matches over in minutes,
Yeah.
especially if the whatever they're calling them, survivor victims, if the
Victims.
victims were all working together and communicating, then they knew the maps. It was horrendous.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and I think I was
I
also like on one of the new maps too. So I'm like, I don't know this map. And then like
yeah,
I'm finding, family members that are gone, they DC'd out, and I'm just like, oh, well, I might as well just DC out too, because why am I gonna suffer?
but why are you going to put yourself through
Yeah.
that, right?
It's not fun, and if there's no penalty, then yeah, I might as well just DC out too. So So yeah, just
You're
to compare,
brave.
you get a bot. Well, I have not played it really since, so that's where we're at with TCM. I had
But
such high hopes for TCM, but I think you
I
have
think
to
we
play
all did.
TCM with friends. I think playing it
Yeah, for
solo is
sure.
not the way to go.
Yeah.
So, and there's been a lot added since I last played. There's new family members and victims and maps, and so going back to if I went back to it again, I would have to or I'd have to learn a lot of new mechanics and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not saying like never, but yeah, I got
Not
curious.
right now. I
Not
think
with
Yeah.
Spooky,
2v8s.
yeah, I think Spooky recently even did a video where
Yeah,
he
he
went back
did. I
into
watched
TCM.
it. Yeah.
I need to watch it, but
It was good.
2v8 is a lot more solid. I feel like I had fun. In
Yeah.
TCM, I was just stressed out the whole time. Like
Same.
Yeah, it's
because
TCM stressful.
yeah, so I've enjoyed the 2v8 and I didn't think I was going to be playing any killer, but I was like, let me try it. But it really is like if you're a
Oh, it's
survivor main,
nice.
yeah, it's been pretty chill. Like for the most part, everyone's been good. I've had some really good matches, whether, people escaped or whether people didn't escape. It's been a good time, especially like the more friends, if you're doing survivor, the more friends you have, it's fun
Oh,
Hmm.
to
yeah.
have like a large group. And you can have up to 8.
Get your
It's
friends.
just, yeah. Get all your friends together and play. It's been fun. I really do think that this is the like, kind of like revitalization that behavior needed for Dead
Hmm.
by
Mhm.
Daylight. And I double checked a little chart. Within the first like 24 hours, I thought it was 105. I misread. It was like 94,000 people,
94,000.
95,000 people. Yeah. The peak playtime, I think the peak was like 3 years ago, and that was 105. So I don't know what it's been since then because this was a couple days ago.
Yeah, I'm
This was the 26th, so 5 days ago. But I really do hope that they make this permanent
I agree.
because as far as I'm concerned, I will do duo killer anytime, and you can still earn your killer achievements, which is great. So
Yeah.
if you're a Steam achievement person, you can still get those. So
hmm
that's been nice. And then we've also been, other than the rift that's actually for the event, we have been hopping into old tomes and doing killer stuff there if it translates. Not all of it does. We've been able to work on tomes that we normally wouldn't have been able to work on because we don't normally play killer. But then I will say it's been interesting as a survivor main playing killer. I mean, the first couple rounds, obviously, I was trashed, but afterwards, I was like, well, I think they'll do this, and like, I think it really probably is going to help my gameplay having play killer now. So I'm excited to see how that translates too. And again,
Yeah.
as you guys know, it's just one step closer to me being Lady Voldemort main. So
I can't wait.
yeah,
It's gonna
I'm
be
gonna get
beautiful.
there. It's gonna be amazing. I can't
So,
wait.
so number wise, I'm looking at Steam charts right now. So
Mhm.
on Steam charts, you can look at certain times. So it almost got up to 100,000. On
Wow.
Thursday, July 25th at 1400 hours, it was at 99,859.
That's crazy.
Dang.
Yeah, that's like the highest number I see out here. So,
Okay,
right
TBD.
today it's kind of around the 55,000-ish range,
And clearly
56.
people had nothing to do at
So,
2 o'clock in the
it's
afternoon.
gone I mean, it's gone down, but it's still like higher numbers than they've been having normally. It's higher than
Yeah.
their average count because if I'm looking back, June average was 44,806. May and like April are in the 30,000s. Like really like just even looking like at today it's higher than it's been in the past. So
I think this event has really like got people going.
because it's new and it's different and it's turned out to be a lot of
It's
fun
exciting.
and
Yeah, it's
people can now
fun.
kill with their friends. This is I think what people have been wanting.
Mhm.
And I think
Yeah.
that's why people going back to TCM were excited about Texas Chainsaw Massacre because you could kill with your friends.
Yeah.
And there weren't really any other asymmetrical
Games
games
like that.
offering
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But I mean TCM has its own issues and mechanics also. So I think behavior did a really good job with 2v8, and I'm looking forward to see what else they do with 2v8, because they've said they want to make it permanent, so at some point they probably will. And I think getting such a positive reception on 2v8 will push them to really A, do a good job,
Yeah.
and B, get it out soon. Work on more killers. And I imagine we won't see it permanent for a while. We'll probably get some more iterations with additional killers added
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
until they get like the whole roster that they want out there and get more maps made too.
Yeah,
So,
it was kind of like when you start getting the same map in a row,
mhm,
you kind of get tired of it.
it's
It
fine. But
was.
I mean, it's the first iteration of this game mode. So I think because
But
that
they did
is,
it well
yes,
for
they
a
Yeah.
did it
first
well. Because I
iteration.
know, like, that's kind of the complaint I'm seeing on Twitter now is like there's no killer variety, right? Like we mentioned, like Huntress every match. But I think we just keep in mind this is only limited time events. It's gonna go away, so enjoy it while you can.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they said they're gonna add more killers, so we just got to be patient and let them figure out the mechanics of different killers. Because I know we were kind of discussing the other night about how would they change certain killers, and
What killers would we not want to see? Skull
yeah,
Merchant, if she has 5 drones.
yeah.
100%.
Well, I think we were kind of talking about also killers that have like additional objectives, like Cenobite in the box,
Cenobite,
Piggy in the head traps. Like,
yeah,
how would
and
you
then
handle those things?
Wesker, Nemesis,
Mhm.
Vaccines.
vaccines.
I think
Yeah.
some of it you could just do on a timer, like the vaccines wear off after a certain, or not vaccines, but the infection wear off after a certain time. But I don't know. Just my thought, but because you want to,
Yeah.
I feel like everything with this game mode is pretty simple and straightforward.
Yeah.
So if they are going to put killers in there that have a killer power, they may just like with Cenobite, maybe they just won't have a box you find. Maybe it's just on a timer that his power,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, goes off, or maybe he can control
Yeah. Same with kind of like
with.
Freddy. It'd be
Mm-hmm.
interesting to see how they simplify it. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think out of all of the different modes they've had so far, this one upon release has been the most put together and mechanically the best.
And
Yes.
I will say somewhat
Um,
stable.
and it feels very fair. That's another thing. Like, I feel like it's very fair. Have we
Mm-hmm.
had? I want to say that our escape ratio's probably been pretty even for the most part.
I would agree.
Um, and the only time where it really felt like everything was going downhill fast is when survivors weren't working together, which is the whole point.
Yeah.
Like, work together,
Yeah, because we had a
have the
weird
pressure.
match the other night with an ace and a David, and it was like very odd. And
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if they were working with the killers or not. I have no idea. I don't know, but they let me meme with them a little bit, the killers too. So
Yeah.
it wasn't too bad. But so let's talk about. Well, here I wanted to bring up this too because I think I mentioned this to one of y'all. I think it was Queen. That the only thing I wish was still kind of a mechanic in this game was like palette saves
Yes.
or maybe
Oh,
flashlight
yeah.
saves because there's
Flashlight
no
save.
way to. Because I
There's no
thought
picking up.
there's no
Like,
picking up because I originally thought they were going to do like the remote hook animation. So really what the animation they did was like the My Little Oni stomping animation.
mhm.
Yeah.
When originally my prediction was they were going to do the remote hook animation. So then they would have to pick up and you could still get a chance to flashlight blind or
Can
palette
you not
save.
though? Because
Excuse
you
me.
get flashlights, so what do you use it for?
You
Just
can do
blind
it
them.
That's it?
locker. You
Blind.
can do a locker save if you're
Yeah.
Oh,
coordinated with other survivors because they have to pull you out of the locker. That's the only
interesting.
time you
Okay.
can do an actual like flashlight save.
I was like, I don't usually do that, so I didn't know if it was possible.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
like there's
other than
no
that,
picking up animation, so there's no
throwing a pallet, then using like a
Mhm.
flashlight or a flashlight in chase to try to,
blind and get
Or like
disorient
away.
them.
stall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the only like mechanic I kind of still wish was in the game, like just because that
You
would
can't
get the
really
survivors
save
off
people, yeah.
gens, but then you might have like 5 people at a pallet. So I really don't know if it's a good idea or not overall. But that was just something I kind of miss that wasn't
That
that we
sounds
can't do.
chaotically fun. Just like 5 people hanging around one pallet.
It'd probably be a lot. I mean, I agree. Like, there's really no way to save your teammates other than taking a protection hit. But if they're being double teamed, no one's gonna go touch them. I almost wish too that there might be some type of base like Medal of Man where after you take so many protection hits, maybe you have like a free hit or something like that.
Maybe that could be a new
Um,
class. I think that would fit with the new
yeah, sometime like a
class, like a
tank.
protector,
Yeah,
like
like
a
a
tank
protector or
class.
tank.
I would say that would be a good like
Yeah,
class.
people who like to play aggressively or like to try to save their teammates, having something like that, extra endurance, take hits. New classes, that'd be interesting too. But I think I would enjoy something like that because I do feel helpless sometimes. I'm like, well, I can't try to save you at the pallet. I suck at flashlight saves. That's not happening. And there's no hook, so it's not like I can just like run after and try to distract and hope like the person can wiggle off.
No saboing
Um,
hooks.
yeah, no
So
saboing. So it was like it'd be nice to have something where it wasn't so final, but at the same time it was still fair to the killer. Like if the killer stomps you, they stomp you. But midnight something that can distract them. I don't know. I think that's a little bit that's missing.
well, I mean, there's still time for them to add
Yeah.
in. Again, this is the first
Yeah, they're
iteration
gonna
of
get
this game mode.
feedback, I'm sure,
Hmm.
and, like, hopefully implement some of it.
Let's talk about the one negative thing, which is the queue times for killer.
Yeah.
It,
Apparently, it's also
yeah.
not just 2v8 queue times are bad. Regular game queue times are kind of bad
Oh, is it?
because
Oh.
it's not as bad as killer queue times. So
Because I haven't played
um,
anything but that.
the first day it came out, the queue times were probably like 20 minutes for
Yeah, they're
killer.
horrendous.
It was bad. It was
Yeah.
fun. And like I sat in queues, like I did other work and then like waited to get in, but like yes, people want to kill with their friends. I think that's what we've gotten out of this game mode is people love the killer aspect.
So
And
much
like
so that it's 400%
yes, I was just
bonus
about to
web
mention that.
points to play, yeah, Survivor right now.
If you're trying to P100 a character, now's your time to
Yeah,
play
for real.
Survivor.
And it's
Which I thought
instantaneous.
was crazy. When I pulled it up, I was like, 400%? Okay.
Yeah. The survivor queues go by super fast. I feel like right now, killer queue, you're waiting anywhere like 5, 10 minutes. It's not like super bad.
I think it's got
And if you're,
better, but the first day was the
yeah, the
worst.
first day was awful. I think Otstarva had titled one of his streams, was it like Lobby Simulator or Queue Simulator? When I looked at it, because he
That's
was waiting
hilarious.
so long. But yeah, it's a lot better now. And if you're in Discord, like chatting with your friends, or I don't know, couch gaming with your friends or whatever, you can chat. But yeah, Survivor queue pretty much at the moment you queue up, it sends you into a queue.
Yeah.
They're just back to back.
And then I remember Morbid, you and I had issues playing the first day. Like we
Oh
were
my
queued
god,
up
I
together
know.
and then it didn't put us in lobbies together like twice, 2 times.
Yeah, I know. It would, like, just instantly throw me back to, like, the beginning or kick me completely. It was really
And
annoying.
then the second time I was like, well, I'm just going to play this round. And then the dedicated server went out too. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay. And then I was like, I think we're done for tonight. I think we need to, I think it can't
I know.
handle,
I was like,
I don't think it
"Alright,
could handle
cool."
the traffic.
I think the last thing really to go over are the rewards. So there is again like a little rift. It's not as thorough as some of the other maybe event rifts we're used to, but you can unlock a little Dwight Cage badge. There's also an Arcade of Despair charm, which is a little arcade game, and then you can get a banner called Murderous Duets that has Trapper and Huntress on there. Yeah, I'm excited to get them. Just we have to wait for the second part of the Rift to open tomorrow.
I know.
And they did release a Blood and Bones collection that had outfits for 8 survivors, which were Dwight, Meg, Claudette, Jake, Nia, Fung, David, and Michaela. And I will say Michaela jumped a couple of the original survivors. But yes, that's the one cosmetic I did get, if anyone wants to know. And
Okay.
then for Killer, they had cosmetics for Trapper, Huntress, Hillbilly, Wraith, and Nurse. They're interesting. I wouldn't say like they're, oh my gosh, amazing. The Killer cosmetics are all kind of red, black, and white with like some type of red spiky mask, white outfit, black accents. And then the survivors all have kind of white outfit with like across the chest, like hands holding some type of crystal, and they have like skull crystal masks.
And
They're
they're
all right.
numbered on the back.
They're numbered on the back, 1 through 8. So they're all right. I don't think people were too like, oh my gosh, they're amazing. Nurses cosmetic though, her does slap. I like nurses.
I
Um,
really like the rates. The Mine Haunter, I don't know why.
yeah,
It's real creepy. But
his
yeah,
mask is creepy. The mouth on it is really creepy. But yeah, I think that's it. So they released a lot, but overall, in regards to 2v8, 10 out of 10, and I do want it to be permanent.
ditto.
Yep. I said it will
So
be eventually.
yeah, eventually.
Eventually.
Any final thoughts?
No, just kudos. I mean, they did a great, like
Yeah,
we keep
good
saying, they
job.
did a great job. I was actually very pleasantly surprised. I was like, I don't know how they're gonna pull this off. Like, this
I'll
is
clap.
gonna,
I don't know if that can be heard, but I'm clapping behavior.
yeah. But despite all of my misgivings and mistrust issues, I think that this turned out wonderful, and I've had a great time playing it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. They
same.
knocked it out of the park on this
Mhm.
one, and I look forward to what they add in the future for 2v8, other killers, other classes, other maps. It'll be interesting when they get to a point of adding this in permanently what people will play more of. Will anyone ever get
Mhm.
tired of
Ooh,
2v8 once it's fully developed? I don't
that's
know.
Yeah.
true.
I almost feel like
How?
2v8 could be the main game mode in the future for
Yeah.
this game. I mean, they'll still keep making chapters and killers and all of that, and survivor, perks. But yeah, I do
Wait a
wonder
minute.
when they add
Coldwind
it.
Farm is one of the random maps. I never got Coldwind Farm the entire time I played.
A couple of times.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to point that out.
There's only 5 maps. So, like, I know when Queen and I
Yeah.
were playing, we would get this, like, I think we got Curtis Penn, like, back to back.
Oh, back to back. We got
Yeah.
Crotus a lot.
Yeah.
Crotus. Let me go to the maps. I can see kind of.
Auto Haven, I got,
I feel
I
like
think, pretty
Crotus,
regularly.
Red Forest, and Macmillan were the ones that we got the most.
Yeah, I'm not sure
That's
if
why I
I've.
was looking at it. I was like,
Mm,
wait a minute. I hardly ever got Cold Earth, and actually, I didn't get any Coldwind
I was
Farm.
trying to think
Coldwind
if I've
and
gotten cold. I've gotten cold one like once or twice, but out of all of them, Coldland's probably the least.
yeah, I think it's
Curtis
the
Pren
least.
all the way.
Crotus print the most.
Yeah.
Red Forest and I feel like Macmillan are kind of around the same. Then the Auto Haven. I feel like in the last couple of days I've started to get more of that, but Coldwind definitely the least. Maybe they need to look at map rotations.
Yeah, but that happens a lot when they do like the random, like you're gonna get these 4 maps more than all the other ones, and then you
But there's
hardly ever
only
get them.
5 of them, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm ideally
You
it'd
should
be
rotate.
nice to get a new one every.
Yeah, they should be able to just rotate it. Like, I don't know why
Yeah,
map prevention isn't on. So then, like, it would just kick you to like one of the other 4 maps.
Do
maybe
we
it's because of like all the survivors. Like
I was like, do we ever know why they do
I don't know
things?
how they could do that with so many people.
Well, yeah, I know matchmaking's a thing too. Like, I don't know if MMR is on for 2v8, to be honest. I've heard it was, but
Yeah.
I don't think they've officially have said. Because I have wondered about queue times because, I mean, the first day mainly because I did play solo killer. And in my mind, when you're playing like solo killer, well, it's got to match you to another killer and it's got to match you to survivors. So it's got to like match you in 2 different ways because I don't think we mentioned this, but obviously the same killer can't be together. You can't have 2
Yeah, it can't
trappers,
be
2
two
huntresses,
huntresses. Yeah,
2 nurses. if MMR is on, turn it off so that the queues go faster, please. But I kind
Yeah.
of think they are off because we've gotten some.
We've gotten some people
They,
who haven't played that killer. It doesn't mean they don't play
yeah.
killers in general, but also I feel like in a mode like this, it's kind of like a safe space to try out other killers if you haven't done them.
Hmm.
But it's been pretty evident when we've gotten someone who like has never played nurse
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
Or
has never
Huntress. Our
played
poor
huntress or
Huntress.
has never played hillbilly. I feel like wraith and trapper have an easier learning curve,
Hmm.
but
'Cause I yeah.
it's very obvious when somebody hasn't played them. So
'Cause I thought
um
for sure we were gonna get screwed on, like, the MMR for, killer. Because I was like, "I never play," but I don't think it's on, so
I
it
don't think
doesn't
it.
matter.
I hope it's not
yeah,
on. Like, just throw. Well, down the matchmaking and the lobbies need to go faster. Just throw people in.
Yeah.
Whatever. I rather have
Yeah, the queues were
in this
yeah.
scenario, I rather have fast queues and be with whoever because also the matches go pretty fast. These are not long, drawn out games, anyways,
15 minutes
or less. Even if that
or less.
sometimes, like they go fast, or at least they feel like they go fast because
And the ones
it's
that
just go
didn't
go go.
were the ones where people like killers were slugging or survivors were hiding.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, pretty fast matches. So,
So yeah.
but
Anyway,
yeah,
we applaud your behavior. You did a great
yeah,
job.
good
Yay,
job.
This is what
golf
this
clap.
game needed. This is
Yes.
what the game needed.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Because everyone loves it. All the content creators made amazing videos talking about 2v8, showcasing it, showcasing what you do with the killers, and everyone's just having fun and chilling. So, congrats, behavior,
Hmm.
on job well done.
Yay.
Yep.
We made a
Triple snap
positive
snap.
podcast.
Hey, hey, we just give constructive
I
criticism.
know.
They did
I'm
good.
just
We just got to
glad
figure
that
out
we were
the queue.
yeah, that part sucked.
That really that far, but like, yeah, we'll have to figure out. They'll have to figure out queues, and maybe if they do make it permanent over time, the queue will chill out a bit. But
Hmm. It's a new shiny thing people want to play, and what I get, it's fun.
it is
It,
fun.
it's fun. It's fun whether you're survivor or whether you're playing killer. It's just an overall nice chaotic time.
Yeah.
And again, it's been kind of like really like nice to not just have like toxic matches after toxic
Oh,
matches
yeah, for
and be like, oh,
sure.
I'm playing the game. Like, I don't even care if I died. That was a great chase or I had a fun time. Like, I haven't had any time where I was just like angry either side, even as like killer. So for the most part, I think it's been pretty positive. I'm sorry for the people who have been getting slugged. Like, we
Yeah,
haven't
that
experienced that much, but
yeah.
hopefully they can do things like we talked about, base kit unbreakable. They can do other things to kind of deter that type of behavior because like the game mechanically is not set up for that. But
Mm-mm.
some people just want to go and watch the world burn.
Facts.
Yeah. Well, I was watching Scott Junn and
Hmm.
Zubat were playing together. They have some videos on YouTube, and I think Zubat got like really into like just going after people, and so he was unintentionally slugging because he found them all together, so he just kept going and
Hmm.
and I think Scott had to go like stomp on the people
Is you can get
for him.
very like one sight when you're a killer and like when you're
He
bloodlusting or
also was
something.
playing nurse, so he was just like blink blink blink.
Oh,
It was just
blink,
like,
blink.
and he was just like, and Scott's like, why aren't you stopping them? And he's like, I just keep seeing people. I'm going for them. So
That's why you have to have a buddy, a stomping buddy.
yeah,
Yep.
But
well,
I think that's all. Anything
that
else,
is all.
guys?
I think I'm
No,
good.
I think that was
Yeah.
it.
I guess we can
Yay.
close out. Thanks for listening to episode 24.
Oh yeah,
We're
24.
24. We're
Woo,
getting
look
there.
at
25
go.
next. I know. Look at us. But as always, we want to wish you guys a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. And bye.
Bye.
Bye.